All right, hello, welcome, parents. I'm not the official starter. I'm just here to break the ice a little bit. So just to get you typing on your, get you involved in typing before we get started. So this is something I run. My name is Mr. Connors. I run Future Ready. I'm also a 12th grade mentor. But this is a game I play with the students a lot. So welcome to you guys. And I want to know, would you rather? I play this game to not to get to know what you like, but what you are like. So I do this with the students a lot. So would you rather go skydiving or go ice climbing? And I think you can learn more about people by asking these kind of questions. And like, do you prefer taking a walk or taking a nap? So let me know in the chat. Ms. Jones is going ice climbing 100%. No, Mr. Guy, there's no option C. You have to choose. Skydiving inside does not count, Miss Ellison. Ice climb, Miss Kern, she'll do anything where it's cold. In my opinion, neither. No heights. Well, in my opinion, both of them involve falling, because I would be falling off the ice climbing wall, no doubt. But I wouldn't have a parachute, so I don't know. I don't know if I could do either, but I could probably climb ice to a degree. I don't know that I could get myself to jump out of an airplane. I'd be the one that's sitting in there like just holding on. They'd have to land the plane. I'm the one they have to put no refunds up for. All right, let's do the next one. So would you rather where everyone's trying to get us to go next. Would you rather live on Mars or live at the bottom of the ocean? And yes, these are permanent destinations. Mr. Goddess going to the bottom of the ocean. Spurn's going to Mars. Indy's going to Mars. Got some people for the ocean. Yeah, living at the bottom of the ocean there. This drawing I don't think is a fair representation. When I say the bottom of the ocean, there's no light down there, so it's just you're gonna be living in basically eternal darkness. So I don't know if I can handle that, but I don't know if I could get on a spaceship either. But I think I'm gonna go to Mars. I don't think I want to live in the ocean. Can't say neither. That's the point of the question. I'm going to Mars because I want to be able to go outside. And then I'm assuming if I can get to Mars, I can at least put a suit on and walk around outside. So thanks for playing along. Hopefully you guys got your typing fingers ready to go. And I'm going to pass off to the true beginner of the presentation.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Connors, for kicking things off for us. Welcome, everyone, to our back-to-school afternoon. I know it's listed as back-to-school night, but our back-to-school afternoon is kicking off. We're going to cover a lot of different things. If you have questions, we will stick around a little bit after to answer some questions you may have, but feel free to reach out to your homeroom coach, your student's homeroom coach, or your student's mentor, any of the teachers that they have if you have further questions. We're going to breeze through a bunch of things, but we're so happy that you were able to join us for back to school afternoon. And I'm going to kick it off by sending it to our middle school team captain, Miss Hitt.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Sorry, I had a little trouble getting my camera going there. Let's talk about attendance in live class. We are all striving for your student to be successful this year. Attending live class is a great way to achieve that goal. When your student attends live class, they can earn up to 100 points each quarter. Those points will increase your student's grade by up to 10%. Also, in live class, students get to collaborate with their teacher and their peers. They get the opportunity to go over the material that is being taught in class before they start working on it independently. And sometimes the assignments are even started during live class. So with all that being said, we encourage your student to attend live class whenever possible. And if for whatever reason they are not able to attend, please make sure that students are communicating with their teachers. And now I am handing it over to our 9th and 10th grade team captain, Mr. Chase McDonald.
Thank you, Ms. Hitt. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the mid-quarter deadline and the end of quarter deadline. So this is pretty important information, especially in regards to grades. We all know that students should be completing their assignments daily, but we also know that life gets in the way sometimes. Many students have work, or maybe they have a sport after school, so they might need to hand in their assignment at a later date. Students can hand in their assignments late as long as it's before the major deadline every 5 weeks each quarter. So the quarter is essentially broken down in a 10-week structure. The mid-quarter deadline will allow students to hand in any work between weeks 1 through 5 by that deadline, and it will be graded. The end of quarter deadline is for weeks work from weeks 6 through 10. As long as the assignment is handed in before the deadline, it will be graded for full credit. Students will know about the deadline from their teachers, of course, because we're going to be spamming it out to them as we get close to the deadlines. And homeroom coaches will be calling to inform parents. And now I'm going to be handing it off to our 11th and the 12th grade team captain, Miss Bonesteel.
Hi, everyone. We're going to take a look at scheduling for 2023 and 2024. Student schedules are available in PowerSchool. And keep in mind that electives and specials classes are scheduled just in the afternoon, and some of those classes don't meet every single day of the week, but classes do meet the same days each week, so that will be consistent. We encourage students to check their schedules at the beginning of each quarter and semester so that they know exactly what classes they have in that time frame. And if you have any questions about how to locate your schedule or how to have your classes show up in Schoology, make sure that you reach out to your homeroom coach or your guidance counselor, and there are many supports available to help you find that information. I'll pass it on to Mr. Guy.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So I'm just going to talk real quick about a couple of important things for your students. First of all is the role of the homeroom coach. So each student here is going to have a homeroom coach that is assigned to them. And it's a little bit different than like a homeroom that you would think of at like a brick and mortar school, maybe where they take attendance, that kind of stuff. Here at Achievement House, a homeroom coach is really just like an important point person. So if you have a general question, if you're confused about something during the school day, or if your student's confused about something, reaching out to their homeroom coach is a really good like first person to try to reach out to. And if they don't know the answer, they'll at least be able to point you in the right direction. So if you ever have just a general question about your student, or if your student has a question, their homeroom coach is a good person to go to. And for parents that maybe aren't familiar about how our courses are set up, I borrowed some pictures here from one of Mr. McDonald's math classes, but our course pages are laid out very similarly in each class. So you'll see kind of the way that they're laid out there in that list. There's the live class link and the teacher's contact information. There's a welcome folder for students that are just joining the class. Teachers will have a weekly preview, which runs down what's going to happen in the class for that week. And then you'll see their homework assignments for the week. And then at the very bottom, you'll see a previous week's folder where you can go back and look for any work from past weeks that you might have missed. Maybe you were out absent or something like that. And then a resources folder, typically where teachers will put like PowerPoints and things like that. So that's the general layout of classes here. Your students' classes will look pretty similar from class to class, just obviously different material. And then one of the cool things here at Achievement House is that students can access these courses both asynchronously and synchronous. So we always encourage students to do the synchronous option to head into live class. It's a great time to meet their teachers, ask questions, get help on assignments live in real time with our teachers, but also they do have the option to complete their homework on their own time as well. So I'm now going to turn it over to our parent engagement coordinator, Mrs. Brittingham.
Thank you. So I'm going to quickly review the monthly parent guardian meetings that we have here at our school. So our first one is our parent guardian orientations. So each month we have an orientation that helps parents understand their Schoology accounts and the resources they have here at our school. And just for attending orientation and any parent meeting throughout the month, your student will receive Buzzy Bucks for your attendance. So I strongly encourage all parents who haven't attended an orientation to attend one, or you can join if you just need a refresher on how to navigate your account. So our first meeting is, or our next meeting, I apologize, is Thursday, October 5th, and we'll have 2 sessions. Next, we have our parent-teacher organization. So our PTO also meets monthly. The PTO is a great place for parents and guardians who want to get more involved within our school. So our first meeting is actually taking place tomorrow night, Thursday, September 14th at 7 p.m. You'll also be learning about Achievement House Connects there as well. So I hope to see you all there. And then here are our dates for the remainder of the school year. We also have parent guardian workshops. So each month we cover a different topic, and sometimes we'll have guest speakers come and speak with us. So our first workshop of the year is going to take place Thursday, September 21st at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. And you'll see on this year's schedule, this month we're going to be talking about Title I. You can see the variety of topics we will be covering this school year, and we'll have some guest speakers at some of these workshops this month. I'm excited to announce that we are going to have parent guardian lunch and learns this school year. These meetings are just going to be short meetings to review specific topics that you might be struggling with. So our first lunch and learn is going to take place Thursday, September 28th at 1 p.m. We're going to review how you can log in and understand your parent guardian Schoology account. And then more information about all these meetings is located in the parent guardian Schoology group. So log into your parent guardian Schoology account and go underneath your groups tab to access this group. If you don't see this group underneath the tabs in your Schoology profile, please feel free to reach out to me and I can make sure that you're added. And now I'm going to pass it off to our Act 158 coordinator, Christina Sointek.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be with you all today. I'm going to share with you about Act 158. Act 158 is a state requirement for Pennsylvania graduates to demonstrate readiness for your next steps after high school, whether that's entering the workforce or furthering education or training. Act 158 is a new PDE requirement, that's the Pennsylvania Department of Education, starting with the students graduating in 2023 and beyond. There are 4 main pathways to meeting the Act 158 graduation requirement. The first 2 pathways are the Keystone Proficient pathway and the Keystone Composite pathway. So these are both pathways that have to do with the Keystone assessments. So please make sure that you are taking Keystone seriously and that you're doing your very best on those exams. The next 2 pathways are the alternate assessment pathway. This is where if you have a acceptance letter to a 4-year college or a qualifying score on the ASVAB, the PSAT, or the SAT exams. And the 4th pathway is the evidence-based pathway, in which a student must earn 3 pieces of evidence that align with their future goals and interests. Just going to show you a little bit of what qualifies for the evidence-based pathway. If a student is working full-time and has the opportunity to work full-time hours after graduation, they may be able to submit an employment letter for evidence. Again, an acceptance letter to a 4-year college or actually any post-secondary program, a proficient or advanced score on any of the 3 Keystone exams, the completion of an internship, a service learning project, or again, a qualifying score on the ASVAB, the PSAT, or the SAT. Over here on the right, you will see a list of industry certificates that we offer our students at no cost to you. There are many, many certificates that we offer. So we encourage students to select certificates if they're interested based on what their future goals may be. All right, thank you. I'm going to pass it over to Chandra Jones.
Thank you. So I'm here to talk about makerspaces at AHCCS. There's been a lot of work done on makerspaces by a lot of people here in the organization, and I got to come on this summer and specialize in makerspaces. So we have two. We have the Maker Express, which is a van. It travels all over the state and brings maker tools to kids. And then we also have a physical makerspace here at our Exton offices. Right now it's used by teachers. We're hoping to be able to bring students in later though. So what is a makerspace? Really, a makerspace is just a place where technology and creativity can come together and people can have some freedom to use those tools to create cool stuff. So you might see one of our makerspaces in several different places. Some of our teachers are incorporating makerspace tools into their classes. We are also having standalone Maker Express events throughout the state. Our current events are in the chat there. If you'd like to click on that link, you can register for them. And then also, we'll be having more stuff coming soon. I'm gonna show you just some of the reasons that this stuff matters and what you might be seeing come home with your student and why we're doing it. So this first one, this is about 3D printing. So you might see your student come home with a plastic dinosaur phone stand and be like, well, what does this have to do with anything? The thing is, when they're learning the 3D printing principles, they can use that technology to go on in life and work in healthcare. There are lots of other industries that use them as well. The next one is our laser cutters. We have a couple laser cutters. You might see your student has a model airplane made out of balsa wood and wonder what that is for. Laser cutting is used in many industries. In the auto industry, it's used on almost every component of the car. So a student who learns laser cutting can take that onto a career in the auto industry. Vinyl cutting, we also have Cricut vinyl cutters, which you may be familiar with from Etsy or from Pinterest, but learning those skills, learning how to make decals, stickers, iron-ons, those are things that students can expand into a career directly out of high school while they're still in high school or after a degree. Thank you for your time. I'm going to pass it on to Dr. Jerry Light.
Thank you, Chandra. Thank you for advancing the slide. Last year, Achievement House started on the process to become a Microsoft Ed Showcase School. This will benefit our students by providing personalized, inclusive learning experiences and the development of future-ready skills. Over the summer, Achievement House became a Microsoft Incubator School, and most recently, several of our teachers were approved as Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts. And now I'd like to turn this over to Ms. Kelsey Montgomery, who will highlight a few of our Achievement House special events.
Thank you, Mrs. Light. So I am excited to announce that this year we will be offering plenty of engagement opportunities for our students. So to make this more accessible for all of our students, we are going to have these in all the different regions of PA. So there will be in-person field trips and events, but we will also be having virtual options of movie nights, game nights, or other like field trip tours and things like that. So as you can see, we have a whole list here of what will be available for students. So these will be posted in Schoology on the main news feed. There will be a folder in the main office of Schoology, and parents are also notified via text and email when we have a new event. So keep an eye out for those this year, as we'll have events every month. And one event that we are super excited for are our welcome back picnics. And these will be the last week of September. So make sure that you are registering for these. Registration ends on September 15th, which is this Friday. And we will be in 3 different locations. We'll be in Pittsburgh, Reading, and Philadelphia. So this is a great chance for students to meet their peers and teachers. We'll have games, prizes, and our Maker Express van will be making an appearance at each event. So students will get to take some things home with them as well. So please make sure that you register for that. Information is again on the main page of Schoology and also in the main office folder. Another great way for our students to get involved and make new friends are our clubs. These clubs will start in October, and they are all after school hours. And as you can see, that we have a huge list of some amazing clubs this year. Some are different from last year, some are repeating, and this should be coming out any day now. These were just finalized recently, so students should look out for that. And they'll be able to join one or as many clubs as they choose. And the links to join those sessions will be hosted in the main office so that they can always access those. So keep an eye out for that. That will also be located in the main office where they can see the different descriptions and the calendar. And finally, please make sure that you are marking your calendars for state testing. So we have PSSA testing in April and Keystone exams in May. The 7th and 8th grade students will take PSSAs, and depending on courses enrolled, mostly high school students will be enrolled for the Keystones, which are algebra, literature, and biology. So just make sure you have that in mind. That'll be coming up this spring, and we plan to make this, again, more of just testing and having it be a fun experience with games, prizes, and special treats. So now I'm going to hand it over to our assistant principal, Mrs. Alderfer.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And I just wanted to take a minute and introduce you to the administration team. Our job is to lead the organization into supporting and sticking and providing whatever the students needs to align with our mission statement. And our mission statement is Achievement House Cyber Charter students will experience an improved individual outcome measured by academic enrichment in a personalized and rich learning environment that prepares them for success in a technology-driven world. So we have Mr. Don Aspin, the CEO, Dr. Jerry Light, the Chief Academic Officer, Mr. Thomas, the principal, myself, Angela Alderfer, the assistant principal. We also have Mrs. Knopf, who is the director of our special education program, Mrs. Byrne, who is the curriculum coordinator, and along with Mrs. Riegert, who is also the curriculum coach, and Mr. Guy, who is in charge of educational design. And we have Mrs. Butler, who oversees marketing and all of our student services, and she is also the manager of there. And we have Ms. Frank, who is our human resources manager. And we could not forget about our project management team, which helps with a lot of our student activities. Mr. Greg Byrne is the head of there with the project management. We have Mrs. Montgomery, who does all our student success and events coordinator, and Mrs. Deegan Watson, who assists with assessments and activities, and she is also the coordinator. And no one could be successful without the help of a supportive administration staff, and that is Mrs. Gilligan, our senior administrative assistant, and Mrs. Mayo, our receptionist. And now I will pass it on to Mr. Jim Flick, the Dean of Students.
Thank you, Mrs. Alderfer. So the Dean's team is your attendance and engagement needs. So if a student misses a day and you need to send an excuse note, you're going to reach out to us. If there's problems with truancy, we're going to try to work with you to get to the underlying issues. If you know your family is going to take a vacation and miss multiple school days, we have the permission form to get that pre-approved, so those don't count against you. Just working with our families to make sure that they're logging into school, excited about school, and engaged, and feel like they belong here at Achievement House. So with that, let's get into some of our specific academic departments. We're going to start with the English department, and Mrs. Longenecker, your leader.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Mrs. Longenecker. I am the curriculum point of contact for the English department, and I'm very pleased to announce all of our English teachers. We have the astounding Miss Antonucci, the brilliant Mrs. Bickle, the dashing Mr. Dake, and the delightful Miss Dempsey. We have the harmonious Miss Hitt, the loquacious Mrs. Longenecker, the resplendent Miss Renner, and the sagacious Miss Scholl. Now I'm going to pass it over to the math department. Take it away, Ms. Hoynak.
Well, it looks like Mrs. Hornak is not with us at the moment, so I will be happy to introduce the math department. This is Mrs. Aldifer again. This beautiful group of people right here are here to help us with all of our needs when it comes to math. We have middle school math representative. We also offer algebra, pre-algebra, calculus, some AP courses this year. And so at this point, I will pass it on to Mr. Sweeter. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Aldifer. Yes, so I'm Mr. Sweeter here. So here's our social studies department. We cover a lot of classes here from U.S. history, middle school and high school level, all the way up to civics, including psychology and law and justice and geography. So you can see many of our teachers here, and I will pass it off to our science teacher, Mr. Hemi.
As he said, I'm Mr. Hemi. Thanks, Mr. Sweeter. This is our science department, and I have the privilege of introducing them to you. As you might expect, our department offers the standard science courses such as biology, chemistry, and physics, but we also offer some additional more niche sciences, which make for great electives for students who have satisfied that biology requirement and want to continue studying different aspects of science. These include, but are not limited to, astronomy, environmental science, anatomy, earth science, and events and disasters. And of course, you can see our team here on the screen, and we're very excited and honored to guide your students to a greater understanding of how our world works and all the living things in it. And now for Miss Bones, Dr. Bonesteel.
I am Dr. Katie Bonesteel, and I have the pleasure of introducing the specials department to you. In the specials department, we have a lot of great courses that we offer, including things like music, health and PE, art, digital photography. We also offer things like computer science, 3D printing. We offer some language courses, and all of the EL courses are also housed in the specials department. So we would love to see you in our classes. And I'll pass it over to Mrs. Knopf to talk about the special education department.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am honored to have the opportunity to work with such a dedicated team of teachers and staff. I asked our department members this morning, what are your goals for our students this year? And our teachers expressed their goals to provide you with real life learning opportunities. They also want to transform your perspective of education to a positive mindset, despite what your educational experiences may have been before attending Achievement House. Most importantly, we want you to feel safe in your classes and feel comfortable in asking you for help. So we do not take a one-size-fits-all approach here at Achievement House. Our goal is to create a unique path designed just for you that will lead you to success. So we appreciate your attendance at today's open house. And here we have a large department that I'm presenting to you. I have the administrative and supportive superstars right here on the screen. We also have our life skills team and our supplemental teaching team and our itinerant team. So I'm going to now turn it over to Mrs. Aldifer.
Thank you. And we have the teacher support staff. You'll see something that's kind of new to our organization is we have added a teaching assistant to every grade this year. We have one in middle school, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th grade. We also have 3 auxiliary teachers who act as subs. So this way, we do not have to leave our students without a live class option for the day. So, and their job is really just to support the teachers so that our students can have the best learning outcome. And we are so fortunate to be able to have them as part of our team. And so I'm going to send it off to Ms. Scaley so she can fill you in all about guidance. Thank you.
Hello, so I'm here to introduce you to our guidance team. Our team is here to support your student with any career planning, academics, and of course, any emotional or personal struggles they may be facing. So as you can see here, our team is made up of 4 school counselors, 2 guidance assistants, and of course, our Act 158 coordinator, who you heard from a little bit ago. And as you can see on the slide, our school counselors are split up by grade level and alphabet. So for example, I work with 11th and 12th grade students, last names A to H, and Mrs. Fountain works with 11th and 12th grade students, I through Z. And before I introduce our next speaker, I will answer the question you were all wondering. And the answer is yes, that is a baby alligator I am holding in my photo. And I'm very much hoping to meet this alligator again this year. And now I will turn it over to our lead mentor, Mrs. Cheryl Kern.
Hello, everyone. The role of the mentor is to support and connect with the students and the families. And so if you have something going on at home or with your family or concerns, the mentor is your person to call. And we are your one-stop shop for communication and for support. So our job is really to be here to help you. We're problem solvers and we're encouragers. And so you can find out who your mentor or your student's mentor is by looking at their schedule. They all have a mentor course with the contact information in there. You can see all of the grade levels that each of the mentors work with, but there's also one thing to note that if your child has an IEP, it may look a little bit different based on who their child's case manager is, but we do our best to pair everybody up and make sure everyone gets all the support that they need. And I am going to hand you over to Mrs. Sapko with the social work department.
Thank you. So for our social work team, we have Ms. Shana Harris, who works very closely with our guidance and mentoring department. She's also our homeless liaison, so she helps our families experiencing housing instability, as well as the co-coordinator for our student assistance program. Then we have myself, Hannah Sapko. I'm a school-based counselor. I work primarily with our special education department, providing individual and small group counseling to our students, as well as being part of the student assistance program and crisis team. And shortly, we will be adding a school resource coordinator to our team to help families connect with community resources. And up next, we have Elaine Butler from Marketing and Student Services.
Good afternoon. Your Student Services Department is a lot like the office in your physical school for general information. You've already heard from Jennifer Brittingham, our Parent Guardian Engagement Coordinator. We also handle enrollment and onboarding of new students, withdrawals and transfers, medical records, Social Security forms, and any change in your contact information, such as phone numbers, emails, and especially change of address. So anytime you need to update your information, please contact our Student Services Department so that we can get that taken care of. I want you to have a great school year. And next up is Jacob Roach from our Tech Department.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jacob, here to introduce the IT department to you all. So first up, we have me, just data analyst and app developer. We have Morris Hendricks. He kind of runs the show behind IT here as the systems admin and manager. We have Elizabeth Swaim, who runs the help desk and technician. David Knopf, the IT coordinator. Kevin Schmonchko, also doing app development, along with student laptop image, and then Matt McGeehan, full stack dev, also teaching AP computer science, and he develops websites for us. One thing I wanted to note for you, if you ever run into any technology issue, you can look right on your laptop and you'll see a sticker with a B and a QR code, or it might be a yellow sticker. There'll be a phone number right there and or a QR code. You can use either of those to get in contact and talk to Elizabeth Swaim, and she'll help you with any of your technology needs. Up next, looks like we have Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Jacob. Much appreciated. So a few years back, our Board of Trustees put out a curriculum position statement, which affirms its rejection of racism and support for diversity and inclusion. With respect to that curriculum, the board has two objectives. The first is to teach students how to think, not what to think, and to present and assess the full complement of PA core standards. And finally, our last slide. Thank you everyone who joined us today and everyone who participated as a presenter. Every student is VIP here at Achievement House. They are valued as an individual, inspired to innovate, and prepared for the future. We look forward to working with you and your student this school year. You met the entire team. Feel free to stick around if you do have questions for any one individual, or if you have any questions that will be good for the entire group. Our staff will stick around for a few minutes. If you do have questions, we'll try to hook you up with whoever you're looking for. But again, thank you for your time today. We know your time is very valuable, so we appreciate you coming and your attention. And we look forward to another session in the evening. If you didn't catch all of this, or if you're listening to the recording and want to come to the live session, feel free. That'll kick off at 7 tonight. Thanks, everyone. Haven't seen any questions yet, so last call for any questions. Feel free to type in the chat.